On Sunday, May 16th, 2004, I turned 19. I skipped my high school graduation, and I spoke in the UUCA pulpit for the very first time. My senior year of high school was isolating. My school friends had graduated, switched schools, or were having wild and amazing adventures across the country. I was presented with the choice of going through the year lonely or finding my place in a new friend group. I chose the unspoken option C. I took after-school jobs as well as an internship. I obsessively attended YRUU, Mountain Cons, and Mid-South District Cons. While serving as a UU youth leader, I knew my place. Here, I could excel. So exactly 17 years ago, I chose the unspoken option. I left my powdery pink cap and gown hanging in the closet of my powdery pink bedroom, and instead, I threw on some jeans and some pink Converses and came to church. I received the Ryman Scholarship that day. This award and cash scholarship is given with no strings attached to a bridging youth who is constantly active in the youth group as well as embodies the spirit of UUism. In my 3 years serving as your youth ministries coordinator, I have possessively guarded this privilege of awarding the scholarship to a bridging youth simply because I know what's at stake. This is not an insignificant gift. This gift fed me for a year, from dollar slices of pizza to dollar sushi night to learning to roast chicken alone in the tiny kitchen of my first apartment. This gift allowed me to learn my independence as well as the depth of my own generosity. The Ryman Scholarship is an opportunity to share our abundance with a bridging youth that has chosen to share their time, talents, heart, and journey with us. It is my privilege to announce the recipient of the 2021 Ryman Scholarship, Adam Snedden. Adam, your journey has already been so long. It's been a true delight to watch your growth, your self-discovery, and your self-proclamation. No matter where your path takes you, the love of this church community will be with you. Please accept this gift as a token of our appreciation for all the versions of yourself that you've chosen to share with us and all of the versions of yourself that you will find in the world outside of our walls. I'm so excited for your future. Congregation, community, our tradition of giving is built into our foundations. To do your part in sustaining us all, go to uuca.org/give. Offerings will be given and gratefully received.
Let's go in the garden. You'll find something waiting right there where you left it, lying upside down. When you finally find it, you'll see how it's faded. The underside is lighter when you turn it around. Everything stays right where you left it. Everything stays, but it still changes ever so slightly, daily and nightly, in little ways, and everything stays. Go down to the ocean, the crystal tide is raising, water's getting higher as the storm washes out. Keep your your eyes wide open, even when the sun is blazing. The moon controls the tides, it could cause you to drown. Everything stays right where you left it. Everything stays, but it still changes ever so slightly, daily and nightly, in little ways, and everything stays.
And now, please join me in the dedication of the offering. To the work of this congregation, which is weaving a tapestry of love and action we call community, we dedicate our lives, and these are offerings.
The Search by Shel Silverstein. I went to find the pot of gold that's waiting where the rainbow ends. I searched and searched and searched and searched and searched and searched, and then there it was, deep in the grass, under an old and twisty bough. It's mine, it's mine, it's mine at last. What do I search for now?
When I was 5 years old, I played my first season of Little League Baseball. And while my main memories of this time admittedly center around redeeming the free concession stand vouchers that teams were given after games, I can tell you with certainty that this was a major development in my life. See, I had already been watching my older brother play baseball for 3 years, and I wanted nothing more than to join the big kids out on that field. My parents had signed me up for soccer the years prior, which had leagues for 3- and 4-year-olds, unlike baseball. But come on, the facts were clear as day. Soccer was for babies. T-ball was for big boys. So it was a big deal when I put on my Little League uniform for the first time and started dribbling baseballs off the tee like the new age Babe Ruth I knew I was. But wait, what's this? A new startling development revealed itself. The big kids had also gotten older. And while I stood where the big kids once had, I still didn't feel like one. I was 5, but now my brother and the rest of the big kids were 8. Didn't even stop there, though. Playing at that very same Little League were 12-year-olds. Surely, even my brother couldn't comprehend the unattainable age of these giants. Then the years passed, and the giants slowly began to shrink. Maybe it was something in the water, until one day I got off the school bus, home from middle school, and I saw Little Leaguers getting out of their cars. It hadn't even been 2 years since I was among them, but they already looked tiny. That's not to say I was a big kid yet, though. It had been a simple mistake for elementary school me to assume that being a teenager meant being a big kid. And while I had been surprised that I didn't feel myself turn into a big kid the moment I blew out that 13th candle, it wasn't the most shocking. This had happened before. I was used to waiting. Besides, there was only one more step to climb before I would finally become a big kid, and it would all be worth it. That same spring, I remember watching UUCA's high school age youth put on this annual service. I remember my 8th grade coming of age class being asked to usher during the service and being ecstatic. As I sat in my aisle seat, my mind was less focused on the words and music in front of me and more waiting in anticipation of the offering, when I would take on the immense responsibility of passing a basket up and down some aisles, therefore joining in the production of the service and feeling like one of the true big kids. When the service finally reached the offering, I did my duty to the best of my ability. And I'm sure it felt good, but the feeling was only temporary. After the service, I went back to being a middle schooler. But that was okay. It would only be a couple more years. But now here I am, and the finish line has moved back yet again. When will there stop being bigger kids? By all logic, I should feel like a big kid right now. This year, I'll enter my senior year of high school. I've already had to begin the early stages of college applications. This time next year, I'll be a legal adult. By all accounts, I am the biggest kid I can be. but yet I don't feel like it. And the confounding thing is, there's no conclusion in sight. In a few years, when I'm working towards a degree, the big kids will most likely be the college graduates entering the workforce. So what will bring this cycle to an end? That's not a rhetorical question. I really don't know. Maybe you just have to be an adult, have your life together. But what does that even mean? A steady income, a 9-to-5 job? It's certainly depressing to think that that could be the conclusion to this journey. No, I think it's correlated, but it's not the answer. Maybe you stop following the big kids when you have kids of your own. But even then, there will always be someone more experienced. And a lot of people never choose to have kids anyways. But maybe it is all about experience. One day, when I'm old and wise, maybe I'll look back at my life with a new perspective and think to myself, I'm a big kid now. To be honest, I don't necessarily think it's any one of these things. But they're all related. The comfort and stability that comes from a steady income, the realization of selflessness that comes from caring for a child, the enlightenment that years of experience brings, they're all destinations, things we strive for. And I think that brings me closest to an answer. There will always be someone else who has gone where I haven't. By the time I reach a summit, I will always be able to look out on the world and see someone else at the peak of the next one. It's only natural. I might never feel like a big kid, so I think the best thing I can do is to stop thinking so much about the destination and start enjoying the journey.